for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Thanks for allowing me to wave on to this subcommittee. I'm the chairman for National Security and Illicit Finance. Obviously been involved in digital assets and capital markets for a while, but normally wouldn't get to participate in this subcommittee, so thank you. It's a great hearing topic. Under the last Congress, I was on the Weaponization Committee, and we dealt with Operation Choke Point, frankly. We looked at how banks were weaponizing the Bank Secrecy Act, really not of their own initiative, but under pressure from regulators and, frankly, the Department of Justice and even the FBI. So thanks for coming time. Look, the idea that we're referring to this as Choke Point 2.0 is pretty embarrassing because it means there was Choke Point 1.0, and that was under Obama, then under Biden. So we're noticing a theme. Hopefully, we'll be clear because Congress will take action to make sure that we lock in this electoral mandate to reject the weaponized government that we've seen and make the most of this market. Just yesterday, having taken control of the FDIC from disastrous leadership, the Trump administration released 175 documents. Mr. Graywall, you highlighted a number of implications from some of those documents, but I just wanted to start with you and be clear that the targeting of the industry not only affected your company, but it affected Signature Bank. Barney Frank's portrait's right up there, and he was on the board of Signature Bank. He said there was no solvency issue. The problem was they're banking crypto. Did the improper seizure of Signature Bank scare the industry?
Yes, Congressman. The industry was not only scared, they were terrified because that was a bank that was meeting its customer requirements, fulfilling every regulatory obligation, and simply because it chose to put its business into the hands of the crypto industry and its customers, it was effectively told to shut down.
Yeah, they were targeted and literally the assets seized. And look, it kind of reminds me, in a pasture, cows, not all of them have to hit the electric fence. They notice one of them hits the electric fence and everybody else kind of gets the memo. Stay clear. And it seems like that was the intent. Does anyone kind of disagree with that? Does that seem like that was the intent of that?
That was absolutely the intent.
Yeah, thank you. And look, you highlighted the collaboration that firms were doing with regulators, and one of those, as the Mr. Campbell, in addition, as the FDIC would demand letters of inquiry, they would say, "Oh, give us a little more information, a little more information." Did they ever reach a point where they had learned enough about the business model and say, "Oh, well, now we understand. You're green-lighted to go ahead and participate. You're safe and sound"? Did they ever do that?
No, as best we know, almost no bank was ever given approval for these actions.
And I think there's a coordinating committee. I don't know really where they met or what the nexus was. Elizabeth Warren kind of wants to take credit for it. Gary Gensler met with her often. Lael Brainerd from the FDIC, the Fed, kind of went into the administration. And they seem to be coordinated in the effort to shut down the industry. I think that, if anything, you'll see a coordinated approach to kind of de-weaponize that and let the money be the money. And, the reality is, we've seen for a long time, and look, some of my colleagues highlighted it by saying, oh, it's targeting, black or brown people or whatever. But the reality is, unfortunately, at times in our country's history, we've seen the financial services sector basically used as leverage to say, oh, well, you're not going to bank those people, are you? In this case, it really meant somebody with a business model. It didn't mean that it was sound or unsound. It just meant we don't like you. You're not going to bank those kind of people, are you? And that's exactly what the administration was doing to this entire sector. And sadly, we're seeing that happen in other sectors. In nearly every state in the country, some form of marijuana is legal, but you see, kind of a second tier of backdoor making it illegal by saying, oh, well, you're not going to bank those people, are you? So people, whether they're investors, employees, or anything else, in a lawful sector are being debanked. Ms. Oleshnik, could you give us some insight into what we could do about that?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. So I think that we need to focus on, as I've said earlier, the risk analysis of every, the regulators need to ensure that there's a proper risk analysis being done of the risk that that's being taken on, and every lawful business and customer and person is entitled to access to the banking system.
Yeah, we could pick up on that. We've done a lot. One of those bills was safe banking. Hopefully, we'll get something like that along the finish line as a result of this focus on choke point. Thanks for the opportunity, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Mr. Downing, Montana is now recognized for